Okay, we have a nice chart at the top there with words per minute. The student reading a book there and time goes by, that's their words per minute. So that's like our derivative right there. So part A says approximate R prime of 1. So derivative means slope. So just use a slope between 1. You're just going to use the 0.090 and 100 and do your slope formula. Do the slope formula real quick. And then if you're taking the derivative of words per minute, that's like velocity. So when you're taking derivative velocity, you're going to get those acceleration units there. So 5 words per minute squared. And they did ask for in units of measure. So make sure you include that. All right, letter B. This is a theorem problem. Must there be a value in that interval such that the R is equal to 155? And so what you're looking at up here, when you look at your chart, this is your intermediate value theorem. Now we have to be detailed with it, but see how the 155 is in between the 150 and 162 right there? So if something's in between something, they're meaning for it to be using the intermediate value theorem. So what you need to say there, so I put yes, intermediate value theorem. So I jotted that down right away, but you got to stress they told us that R is differentiable. Somewhere in the problem, it says a differentiable function R. So remember, if something's differentiable, that automatically implies that it is also continuous. So you have to write down that R is continuous. And then the R of 0 was 90. The R of 10 was 162. I took those straight out of the chart. And I just mentioned the 155 is in between the 90 and 162. So if you have a continuous function, and you have a value that's in between two other values there, it has to cross through all the values in between. So continuous function in between IVT guarantees where that's going to happen there. Okay, letter C tells us this W. Actually, no, hold on. Letter C, we're supposed to approximate this integral using a trapezoidal sum. So we're going to draw on a few trapezoids, 3 trapezoids, and do the area formula for a trapezoid right there. So what I did, I kind of roughly plotted those points. So 0, 90, 2, 100, 8, 150, 10, 162 from the chart there. And then I counted, I have 3 trapezoids. And remember to do the area of a trapezoid, I did base 1 plus base 2, add up those heights, divide by 2, and then times it by this height by here, which is 2. So that's the area of that first trapezoid. And then the second trapezoid, I did 100 plus the 150 divided by 2, and I times it by the height, which is the distance between 2 and 8, which was the 6. And then the last trapezoid, I did 150 plus 162 divided by 2, and then I times it by the distance between the 8 and the 10, which was the 2 right there. Okay, so then I did some arithmetic, and I was able to kind of calculate that's 1,252 words right there. I did check the rubric. If you have any arithmetic that's pretty easy to do and you want to do that, you're welcome to. But if you have some arithmetic that gets out, like looks a little bit crazy and you're worried about, are you going to do it correctly? You can leave your answer like this and they will accept. They said if you give this answer or an equivalent, like this answer or this answer or an equivalent, you will get full credit. So if the algebra, the arithmetic ever looks a little bit too crazy without the calculator, just kind of leave that alone a little bit there. Okay, so I like to just practice that without the calculator there, just kind of sharpen my skills a little bit there, but that's a real nice feature for us. And then the last part gives us another equation. And then it says the W that is measured in words per minute. So that's like how fast something's going there. So that's our derivative. And then you want to know how many words. So to go from words per minute to words, we're going to integrate that thing at the end of the 10 minutes. So integrate the WT in between 0 and 10. No calculator. They give us a real easy integral. So set up your integral, integrate it, and then plug in top minus the bottom. And then again, I did some basic arithmetic to get that was 1,300 words there. But if the arithmetic is ever a little bit too crazy, they would accept, like you got to do the integral properly, plug in the numbers, and then they'll accept an equivalent answer right there. You just kind of leave that alone there. And then, yeah, that's it. Metallic.